Hi everyone, it's Monica Cardenas back again with Samantha Slater, our Senior VP of Government Affairs, and she's going to tell us a little bit about some new legislation that AHRI supported that was signed into law last year. So Samantha, can you tell us a little bit about the lead up to the signing of this legislation in December?
Absolutely, Monica. First and foremost, before we dive into the events of December and the passage of the omnibus COVID-19 relief package, it did include the HFC Phasedown Legislation that you all know as the AIM Act. I cannot say congratulations to you all and thank you enough for all of the hard work you all have been doing on this bill for the last 2, if not really 3 years. If not for your help and your support, talking to your members of Congress about this legislation over that time, there is absolutely no way it would have gotten across the finish line. As you all have heard me say many times over, the industry is the best lobbyist we could ever have. Doesn't matter if I'm good at my job or not, you guys are the best lobbyists that this industry has, and you did a fantastic job talking to Congress over the last few years and really getting this legislation across the finish line. As Monica mentioned, in the ginormous 5,600-page omnibus COVID-19 relief package that Congress had been working on really through the months of November and December after the election, they did finally get it across the finish line on the night of, I think it was December 21st in the early morning hours of the 22nd, and sent it to the president for signature, and he did sign it on December 27th. In that huge 5,600-page bill, there were a couple of things that were really important to AHRI, and obviously the cornerstone of that, and really one of the cornerstones of the package was the HFC Phasedown legislation. It got a lot of press attention after the bill passed, as you might have seen, as really being viewed as one of the most important pieces of climate policy to pass Congress in over a decade. So we're really thrilled that all the hard work that the industry and our friends in the environmental community and with the business and manufacturing associations, the National Association of Manufacturers, as well as the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, all of the help and support they gave us over the last 2 years to get this piece of legislation done. So we were thrilled that it was included, and we were thrilled that the president signed it into law. And now the focus on that will shift over to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to implement that law, which will take place over the next year or so.
Great, thank you. And thank you to all of our members. Congratulations. Can you talk, there were some more to this package that we were in favor of, and another thing were the tax incentives. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yes. So as normally happens every December in Congress, there was a tax extender package included in the omnibus COVID relief package. There are 3 tax incentives that are labeled energy and efficiency tax incentives that we follow. You might know them by the number and letter combinations, 25C, 45L, and 179D. 179D, which is the deduction for energy efficient commercial multifamily buildings, was actually made permanent, which was a great effort. There's been a coalition working on that for several years now, and they were successful in getting that tax incentive made permanent. 45L and 25C, the incentive for homeowner efficiency improvements and the incentive for energy efficient new homes, were both given clean extensions through the end of 2021. We had been hoping that we could get an expansion of the 25C tax credit. It was expanded in 2010 as part of the economic recovery package during that economic downturn. And we were hoping to be able to do that given the economic situation as a result of the global pandemic. We were not successful in making that happen in this package, but we do hope that given the fact that Democrats are now in control of the Senate, and with the incoming Biden administration, there might be an opportunity to further extend and expand the 25C tax credit in the upcoming, perhaps, clean energy infrastructure legislation that we expect Democrats and President-elect Biden to push during this new 117th Congress. So it was a win that we got the tax incentives extended when 79D was made permanent, and we hope to have further success expanding and getting long-term extensions on 45L and 25C this Congress.
Good, thank you. And you mentioned some further work on some of those tax incentives. Can you talk a little bit about the water heater definition that was not included?
Yes. So let me actually broaden that a little bit and talk about our priorities and maybe for the 117th Congress. And as Monica mentioned, what we didn't get done, unfortunately, in the omnibus spending bill COVID-19 relief package was the water heater definition legislation that we had been working on earlier this year. It was included in the House passed energy bill from September. So it was part of negotiations. Even in the middle of December, there was still an effort to get that language included in the omnibus package, but we fell, unfortunately, a little bit short. So we will continue in the new 117th Congress to pursue that legislation and look for an energy or climate or perhaps even an infrastructure legislative vehicle to move that legislation as well. We will also continue working on other EPCA modernization provisions like the M1 regional standard compliance date change, and we will also hope to talk to the House Energy and Commerce Committee about other EPCA modernization legislative proposals we might have. We will also continue our work on the VRF DoD discrimination provision that we will again try and get included in the National Defense Authorization Act legislation for fiscal year 2022. And want to point out too that we do expect that once President Biden is in place on January 20th, that probably maybe within the first 100 days of his administration, he might send the Kigali Amendment to the Senate for ratification. So I also expect there will be an effort on that this Congress as well. So we'll keep you posted on all of those things and keep you posted on the Kigali Amendment, but we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for all of those things as part of our priority list for the 117th Congress.
Great, thank you. Very informative as always, Samantha, and it sounds like you have a busy year ahead.
Always, Monica.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.